Mark Bertig coming to you from USIC Stadium at Conemaugh Valley High School on Heritage Conference Media Day with first-year head coach of the Conemaugh Township Indians, Brandon Studer. And Brandon, thanks for hanging in there with us. By the way, this report brought to you by Luther Ford Lincoln, Route 119 in Homer City. Go with the winner, go with Luther Ford. And they bring you Coach's Corner every Saturday morning on one of our stations, WDAD AM 1450, 100.3 FM, and WDAD Radio AM, or WDADradio.com, 8 to 10 a.m. every Saturday morning. And, Coach, your thoughts? Well, first of all, welcome to being a head football coach at Conemaugh Township and at the same time in a new league, the Heritage Conference.
Thank you. We're happy to be here.
Your thoughts on jumping into the Heritage Conference, now up to 12 teams?
Sure. We're super excited about it. Obviously, it's two news for Conemaugh Township this year. It's a new conference with a new head coach. So we're taking that opportunity as a challenge to, not be something to be worried about, but something to be excited about. We're excited to see some new teams and new faces, and we're just ready to get after it starting Monday.
It's interesting. I asked you off mic as we stand on the turf here on the field at USIC Stadium. I said, I remember the Studer name as a basketball name, and you reminded me, that it was right here at Conemaugh Valley. I remember watching you play another lifetime ago, for me at least, and you were a heck of a basketball player. So how did you get involved? Have you always been involved with football too?
I have. Not only football, but I was a multiple sport athlete here, or basketball. I played basketball, football, baseball, and even a little bit of volleyball while I was here. So always loved the game of football. Like you said, the name strikes basketball, but there's just something different about Friday nights that is contagious. So I'm excited to get the opportunity.
So you replaced Tony Penna, who left the program. You're stepping in. Last year you weren't a part of it, but they started out so strong. The Indians jumped out of the gate at 5-0 and then lost 5 of the 6 down the stretch. That was then. It's a new season. Talk about the hopes for 2023.
Sure. Yeah. I was fortunate enough to be on Tony's staff behind the scenes for the last few seasons, so it wasn't totally new for me, and I knew the kids not as well as I do now, but I knew the roster. What I love most about Township is it's rich in tradition. It's not a will that needs recreated. It's just something that needs continued. And there's been many great coaches that have come through the program and made the program what it is today. And again, I just hope to be able to continue it with putting my own stamp on it.
Brandon, you lose a lot of production from last year's team. Quarterback Tanner Shirley threw for nearly 1,600 yards. Ethan Black hauled in 56 passes for 884 yards and 12 touchdowns. How do you replace those guys?
You don't, but you adjust to the personnel that you have. Those two kids were great on-field, off-field guys. Left their teammates that are returning in great position. But we're viewing it as an opportunity for guys that didn't have those opportunities because they were behind the scenes last year to really step up and fill those major roles, and they might not fill in exactly the way those two did, but they're eager to give it a shot.
You'll return 13 starters on both sides of the ball, 7 offensively, I believe. Talk about some of the names that you hope that will lead the Indians in the first year of the Heritage Conference.
Yeah, John Updike for sure. He'll be the play caller this year, and again, not only from a experience standpoint, but we're going to really look to him to be a leader on the team vocally this year. Kyler Mozzie at the wide out spot should definitely be somebody that makes some noise this year. Jake Gregg from a lineman standpoint, David Leapchak, Timmy Collins, Colton Huffman, Josh Baker, an underclassman that got a lot of experience last year, is only to name a few, but we're excited to build a program around those guys. And again, just coming into a new conference, what we know is going to be super physical. We tried to prepare in this offseason to be ready physically and mentally from that standpoint.
Of course, the Westpac was a pretty physical conference with some, great programs. Berlin Brothers Valley obviously jumps out, and Winber has been very strong.
Oh yeah, top notch from a coaching standpoint and from a player standpoint. We hope to take those games and be able to model what we learn from playing teams like that to enter into this conference.
What's your biggest concern?
Probably me. I'm the unknown. Township's been a great football school for many years, and they've taken a chance on me. So now it's up to me to get the kids behind me, to rally, to stand behind me, and I think they've done that so far. So
maybe I should not use this analogy, but since you are the Indians, I always say you need a good chief and a bunch of good Indians, but now you're the chief. So what's been the toughest part of the transition? And hopefully you have a lot of good Indians.
I'm a firm believer in you lead by example. So I'm not asking the kids to do anything that I won't do myself. I've taken a lot of time and talked to a lot of different people and really tried to construct a staff that everybody has a niche, everybody has something that they bring to the table, and everybody gets along. I think cohesiveness is really important, and not only from a player standpoint, but from coaching as well. So just trying to put everything together. I think we have all the right pieces. It's just up to us to put them together.
Thanks for doing this. Looking forward to seeing you down the road. I know you'll be coming to Homer Center, a game we'll have right here on Renda Digital TV and on radio too. In, September 22nd to be exact. In between a lot of games, we wish you the best of luck in your first year.
Thank you.
Brandon Studer, and I can still see those long-range bombs flying through the hoop up over the hill in the Conemaugh Valley gym. But that's basketball. This is football. Our preview of the Conemaugh Township Indians brought to you by Luther Ford Lincoln in Homer City. With head coach Brandon Studer, I'm Mark Bertig on Renda Digital TV.